Computer, got it.
Hello. It's evening. I was going to say good morning, but it's good night.
Here in
So
Florida is good evening.
this is Florida, and I can't show you the water from here, that it's beautiful outside. But anyways, my name is Maria. You guys know me as Maria Lariva, but my name is Maria Fernanda Lariva, and I have the honor to have with me right now Maria Fernanda Martino, that she is an unbelievable creator. So I say it's an honor to be with her because she really started from nothing and became, I could say, a millionaire. And Access actually pushed you towards that. And you just have investments, have everything. And then you just gave yourself really to humanity, I could say, through this class. Like, you decided to really teach this class because you saw how much it gave you. So you want to share that. So am I right? Am I on the right track?
Totally, you're on the right track. That's the reason why, Yeah. So my name is Fernanda Martino. For those of you that don't know me, and I love it. I'm also by the water. I'm in Miami, and this is where we're looking to do this class this time, somewhere in South Florida. And we'll pick a beautiful place for us to hold this class and invite you to come and play with us. And yeah, what I love, thank you so much. I couldn't do this without you, Maria. You're amazing. And I know, and I see her traveling all over and having fun. And I'm like, when I heard this in Access, I'm like, of course, isn't it life? Isn't the point of life to have fun? So why will people consider to take this class, right? So Gary Douglas is the founder of Access Consciousness, and some of you may have been introduced to the bars, right? Which is the bars class is the really first class where you get to experience, an amazing body process that could totally change. It totally changes people's reality, right? And I love that if you go to YouTube, there's so many videos about, and it's the study of the doctor. What's the name of the doctor that did this?
I can't remember.
Okay, but
there is one that's about the bars that can actually see the change in the brain, the brain waves, and how the bars affected. And that's the whole point of the bars, is to open up more your life to be able to receive. To be able to receive this foundation class.
I love it. And Maria is a bars facilitator, where she is, whenever she is, she's always moving. But we can all, this is the first class, this is the requirement. That's the only reason why we're mentioning you that. But now, to tell you a little bit more about this class, what I love about the beauty of this class is kind of like getting out of the way. Everything that doesn't serve you any longer, everything that's not even yours, that you bought from this reality, and you kind of like made it yours because you grew up somewhere with limited beliefs, or your family, or whatever culture, don't think about the money and this is not good, and I don't know, all of that stuff. So I heard someone saying that actually the bars will kind of like delete, like get rid of the past and like quiet or delete your brain. And I love it. How Gary said, your brain.
Yeah, get rid of the judgments, right?
Yeah, it's not your brain, but the thing is that, how do we create our life? Okay. And so what happened in the first day of the foundation class is that all of the judgment, all the computation, all of the limitation, everything you've been doing to mimic other people that you don't even know you're doing, right? But just to give you a simple example of my life is like, my dad was a hardworking Italian, right? And that's the way I learned. That's how you earn your money, right? You work hard to make money. And that's what I did until some other possibility came my way. And I'm one of those that I tried pretty much everything. So I know a lot of people who have done, everything from Buddhism to like many other classes. But really,
really? Yeah, I did. I was a Buddhist for like 5 years, meditating 3 hours in front of a white wall.
And I love it when I saw in the video that the bars is like, I don't know how many hours of meditation that you can kind of like get down in an hour, and you wake up like, oh my God. And it's not even the sensation. It's kind of like your whole life start changing. So a little about 4 years ago, when I was invited to my first bars class, and I'm always a go, like doing what's next. And I remember, okay, this is how different I am. And that's what we want to give you a little more information about the class, because I hardly even have to have people invite me. I'm always curious for more. I always desire more. I always wanted it to create more, right? I come from a culture, when I came to this country, I have nothing, right? I didn't speak the language. I didn't have papers to work, but I now know to recognize this gift, and that's the beauty of Access, that I have this facility to transcend things and go through things and go around things. Oh, did I need a work permits? Okay, well, what else? Where could I go and get a job if I don't have one? And that's how I've been creating my life from nothing. So the beauty is that these classes are all over the world, right? And of course, we all, have lots of training to facilitate you into everything. And you're going to get a manual, right? So it's a 200 pages manual that come with this class. And literally this manual changes, like, I thought it was like one a year, when they do the read write.
Yeah, once a year. It's sometimes more, because they can add things every time they give a class.
They're constantly changing this manual. I'm part of the Creative Edge, which is an amazing call that Access have. So something that I learned is that when we, as a Equinder, or we, right, when humanity, all of us, they're choosing to be more conscious. They're choosing to participate in certain things like this, that's what they do. They actually expand your awareness, your consciousness, or open up a whole world of new possibilities. Everything changes. So that's why the manuals are not the same. So this foundation, it's far from what the foundation was a year ago, or 2 years ago, 3 years ago, more like 4 years ago when I took it, okay? And we have to remember that for those that are reviewers or that are ready for a new foundation and for a whole new possibility, you actually can do it for like half of the price,
right? Within the year.
Yes.
Yeah, if you took it within the year, you can do it for half the price.
Oh, it's only within the year. I thought if it was your second one. I believe, no, price.
Oh, we got to check on that.
Okay, we're going to check on that. But price on this particular first class, I think, is for everyone who's repeating the class, you only pay $700, I believe. But Maria, tell me about what you told me. I love what you say in the video we did in Spanish, that when you did it, about the price of the class, right?
Oh my God, so many things about the class. Let me remember.
I know, but you got the money for it. But like,
oh yeah. Of course. Right now, like, I see what that class can give me. I've taken many foundation classes. Like, it's a refresher all the time for me. And so for me right now, that class, if they say, look, it costs $10,000, I would try to get the money to pay those $10,000 definitely, because it gives you so much more, because it gives you actually the tools to get that money. So
I love it totally. So when it's interesting, because I've been doing money classes and how to seduce money into your life, and intro classes of the Joy of Business. I'm a Joy of Business facilitator. So one of those that I love, right? I create, I'm in real estate, I invest, and I do many things. But when I took the Access Consciousness classes, everything became easier. So my invitation is like, if you're one of those that are like, well, life is not easy, or if magic cannot exist, then magic and an easier life cannot show that. Okay, so I love the mantra of Access Consciousness, which is all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. So that doesn't mean that everything is easy, right? But what's available out of this class, like someone have asked me, right? I've been facilitating these classes, and it's been 3 years that I facilitate people one-on-one, and people is like, well, could I change this if I choose a facilitation? I'm like, well, yeah, are you ready to change it? Are you being the demand for it? So there's nothing that you cannot accomplish out of this class, and a foundation class will be so different for everyone, right? There's people that come for health issues, and it's amazing when you start getting out of your judgments, when you start looking at, like, instead of what's wrong with you, like some people have this point of view that there's something wrong innate about us. Or, when you have this point of view, you can't get something right, or how you do this. And what we actually invite you is to go almost into like, what's right about you? What do you know that other people don't know? And how you can use all those gifts to your advantage. But that's why day one, it kind of like gets out of the way. Everything, there's literally like almost a lie. about you or your life, right? Like life is difficult, or I need to get a job. Sometimes I see people that are willing to create, and I wonder what can this contribute to you. But it comes to my awareness because a lot of time I see people saying, well, I'm tired of what I'm doing and I just need a new job or something. I'm like, wow, what about asking what other sources of creating money? What else could I do that it will be fun for me? Because if you will do something that is fun for you and fulfills you, like I chose to do this class, you know, money just comes out of places that you can't even imagine. You know, you have people who you haven't talked for years contacting you and say, oh my God, I know you're amazing at this. You know, we want to place $500,000, $1 million. Can you help us invest it? Okay. But are you?
Well, that's the cool of everything, because what makes me like super excited to be in this specific class with you is that you have the joy of business background. You've gone through that class. You are a facilitator in that, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
You did Maestro, which is a class that only like 70 people in the whole Access.
Yeah, the first class I always
has done. So you have like anybody that can come there with their problems. They can come and say, look, what do I do with this? How do I start a business? You are there. You have the processes. You know exactly, because not only you went through that personally, but you also went through the classes that brought into you that gives you like so much more I won't say knowledge,
awareness
of those other things that anybody, you know, that anybody could have.
Totally. Last year I played for 1.5 years, but this is the life that I've been asking to create. So even though before I did Access, this is one of the beautiful things. A lot of the things you're going to be like, oh my God, this is the way I operate. This is what we've been doing. But in the class, we touch points like how psychic you are, right? So sometimes like if people will do expectations of you or not. So it's interesting because I just wanted to see the word. I was like 8 years old, I remember. And I remember that, my family will take me on vacation, but we kind of have to like take care of what we did so we can go on this one vacation. And I always knew I wanted it more, right? And of course I believe in magic. And when you start looking at your life, just look at your life for 1 second, right? I asked to be by the ocean. I asked to have multiple properties. But one thing that I'll never forget, I was 4 years old. And with my best friend, I said that we wanted it to be a flight attendant, right? And of course, these are like those things, and those were the tools the Access will give you, which is about being in the question. So obviously I was already in the question at 4 years old. It just looked different. I didn't ask, but I knew. It was like, oh my God, we can be a flight attendant and live in an apartment by ourselves, right? And then like 20 years later, who knows, when September 11 came around, everyone was getting fired from the airlines, right? It was like a big download in that market. And it was interesting enough how a neighbor knocked at my door. There's no mistake, supposedly by mistake, right? Oh my God, I'm sorry, I was looking for someone else, but I'm your neighbor, she sell. And I don't know, she said, well, what do you do? I'm like, well, I work at the mall, you know, and she said, well, I'm gonna go for an interview for an airline. I said, oh my God, I always wanted to do that. But up to a year ago, I didn't even have the choice, you know, as illegal working in this country, making a living, you know, in my small rental, which now I spend that in a pair of shoes or more, right? But that's interesting how much we can change life when we're willing to choose the tools. So like you say, a lot of people say, well, I want to create more money. And then they're invited to a class or whatever else will contribute to that. And then they go and have a point of view about like, oh my God, but that's too much money. There's no way I can do that. But that's exactly how you say, you come and you make only a $1,400 investment. And okay, if you're traveling for someone else, we're looking at how to make that easier for you. Perhaps we rent a house so you can stay with us for 4 nights. And if you choose to be for the last day, we may do a special VIP where Maria, she's amazing. She came from money, you know, and I'm like, what can we create together to talk about wealth and things like that? So we're looking to contribute if you will choose it.
Yeah, and we didn't say anything. We can't forget to talk about the house that we're going to rent. And we're going to have a few rooms. So the first people that register are going to be able to stay with us in the house where we're going to have supposedly the class.
Yes, and why not? But we're looking at like, can we have a pool? And what else will be fun? Can we be close to the water?
By the water, yeah.
And then it's the 4th of July, so you can come and play with us. And that was one of my 4th of July was for me a big, almost like mujer liberate, but it's not mujer, it's just anyone. What if you can be free?
Yeah, the freedom, the fear of the 4th of July.
Free of judgment of yourself, then instead of having to wake up and just kind of like go like what you learn how to do, or if you ever mimic someone in your family like, oh my God, I can't believe I made that mistake, I'm so stupid. Rather than going there, I love it. We're going to share with you a little more of 80 tools. You're like, wow, okay, well, that didn't work for me. What else is possible? How does
it's freedom of yourself, actually. 4th of July.
And you start having more kindness with yourself instead of like wanting to like kick yourself in the butt, you know? And that's why also the 3 at least body processes that we're going to do, that's the beauty of it. Because this foundation, we actually literally address, and that's how it works. So just to give you an example, like you can go on Google the clearing statement, right? Which is what Gary Douglas created, which it literally goes to the point of creation, right?
Of that limitation that you had.
Of that limitation, that judgment that limits you, right? So if you have a point of view, oh, you have to work hard to make money, or you need a new job, rather than asking what else could I do that will be fun, that will generate me money with these. That's how I became an investor. I saw other people doing it and I went, I want to have that. I'm having it. I'm choosing to have more. I'm choosing to have more ease. And that's what I keep taking classes, including I took the advanced, it was called lines and manipulation, right?
Oh yeah.
Lines and manipulation. We were only like 70 of us in Denmark. Okay. And that month I just traveled through Europe for a month and I took every class I wanted it, like 9 trainees and the first maestro class. And, you know, it was awesome creation, but the way I look at creating my life is so different now. So when you get rid of all this judgment, limitation, the way you limit yourself on how you have to create, or the only way you know of creation, is literally more like staying in the question. It's like, wow, when you start seeing all the beauty that's outside, and when you start seeing, you know, the universe wants to support you. So when you start being in the question and sending these messages to the universe, you know, like many of the tools we're going to share, do you want more money? Great. Pay yourself first. So the universe goes like, oh, wow, right? You're receiving. So with all these body processes, even.
But the body processes are also for health too. Like for example, the MTVSS, which is a super long name, you'll learn it there at the class, would just literally change your DNA.
Totally.
Unbelievable.
And the biomimetic mimicry, what she does is like, it goes to erase and delete whatever you have mimicked from like your generation, your parents, your grandparents, let's say like things like the weight or even illnesses, because including cancer and everything.
Yeah.
You know, well, it's not genetic. Many times you biomimetic mimic other people in your life that you're not even aware. So that's why this class is kind of like beyond this reality. You can't really like explain it. It's one of those things like, how do you explain following?
Yeah, and also the other process that I love, that I do every day, is the one that actually you clear you change completely the molecules of your food.
Yeah.
So you don't need to buy any more organic, because you can change yourself the molecules of the food, and with that, then you just eat completely healthy, and you even change the food to taste to your palate, to taste good for you.
Yeah. And you know, so for some of those that know,
that's a molecular demanifestation.
Totally. And for some of those that have worked with energy, you know, probably some of those that have done Reiki or like meditation or anything, is like, wow, how does it get any better? So the crazy ones like us, to believe in something more than the limitations of this reality, right? Because you can choose to sit in front of the TV and see all the craziness that's happening in politics and everything. But what if you can create your own reality beyond this reality? And then one really that was a true gift about this foundation class is that many times there's this amazing tool that I love that is, who does this belong to, right? So sometimes you see in society, when you're a woman, it's like, oh my God, are you single? I mean, you're not married, you don't have kids, because everyone is so used to like what this reality say is valuable or not, or right? What if you're willing to ask, whose reality are you living? Are you willing to create a reality that works for you, whatever that is? And the beauty is that if you don't even know, you're going to find yourself in this space like, oh my God, who am I? What did I want to create now? That's why the tools are a true gift that could expand your life in ways that you can possibly not even imagine.
Yeah, and then let's remember that, or remind everybody that the class is from June 30th to July 3rd. And the 4th, Maria Fernanda Martino is going to have like an unbelievable class that you can choose it. You don't have to go to, but you can choose it. And every 2 hours, she's going to change a topic. So
with amazing facilitators
and
with amazing people that are gifted in certain areas, like with Maria Fernanda, perhaps will create wealth and money, right? Because totally, I love when you up to like selling this, and your daughter here is like the super mom. Like today, I was struggling. Oh my God, I have investments and clients. Let's do the video, you know. But what if you're willing to create from this space, right? Rather than what some people believe, no, you have to focus on one thing. What if the way you create is completely different? And so truly, one of the things that I got is really more like knowing what you know. So when you start acknowledging how brilliant you are in certain areas, and you're willing to look, it's like, great, for me it's business. But then again, my family, you take this class and everyone around you changes. I love it. My nephew, the contribution I can be to him. So in this reality, we're all told to have kids problem, family problem, relationship problem. And I heard this from an amazing person. What if problems is just a possibility with a point of view attached, right? What if we're looking at everything, you know, with the access, with the tool of access, which that space is going to be completely available to you. So knowing who you are, you know, knowing what you know, and starting to create what truly works for you. So that's the invitation. So we're going to be playing in South Florida, right? June 30th.
Okay, yes, June 30th. So it would be around either Fort Lauderdale, Boca Raton, so around that area. You know that we'll be there. As soon as we have the house and everything, we will, you know, of course, we will tell everybody. But please register, because by registering, you're already pulling energy. You're already moving everything in order for you to get the money for you to do the class. And not only that, but the important thing of registering is that you start creating the energy of the class.
Totally.
And from that point, you start changing. My problem was that as soon as I register, I was already doing the class.
Yes, so, I love it. Because you're choosing more, the universe like, oh, you're choosing more, here you go. Yeah. And that's how everything works. So call it whatever you want to call it. I know some of you may have practiced other things, but the beauty here is that we'll touch every section that you can possibly imagine. There's 200 amazing pages of processes. And my question to you is like, you know, I wonder like what will allow, I wonder what will allow you and everyone who hear this to know, be, receive, and perceive, and take actions for the magic that you truly are. So what is it you up to creating in the word, and for yourself, for your life, for your family, for whatever inspire you? So my question is like, you know, like that tool we have, if you choose to do this, what will your life be like in 5 years?
Yeah. And what if this class was the class that you were looking for, or that something you were looking for to change completely your life? It did change mine. I know it changed Maria Fernanda, and thousands of other people. There's thousands and thousands of other peoples out there. So give it a try. You know what? You never know. Even if it's weird, it sounds weird, whatever, it sounds unbelievable that somebody can change your life so fast.
Yeah.
Give it a try. You know, instead of saying anything negative, just say, okay, you know what? Let me see what this is about, and then you'll see how it would change your life.
This is the most weird, wacky thing, but it works. You know, I will not waste my time or my money. You know, I'm always like creating, doing something. But great, you want to create a relationship of your dreams? Well, are you willing to ask? What is the energy? You know, what energy, space, and consciousness can my body and I be that will attract, you know, everything is comparable to me, and magic starts showing up. But it's like that. I'm in Italy asking what it would take to sell hotels. And just coming back from the trip, I run into someone who buys hotels all over the world. And I'm in the process of like, you know, have clients looking at properties and hotels over here. So it's like, that was the beauty, that when I thought I was asking for big, because I kind of like been creating always more.
Yeah.
This is kind of like going from like, okay, I need a job, to like, oh my God, what it would take to create the relationship of my dream, what it would take to have so much ease with my body, to be at peace, to be happy, to choose what I truly desire to do. And have,
yeah, that's another thing, to be happy no matter what happens.
No matter what.
In peace, or to be, you know, what is it, at ease, no matter what happens.
Totally.
So that's one of the main things of this class.
And that's what we're going to learn, that everything you have to create is just a choice. So we're going to deal with everything that's kind of like in the weight of that. And
all right, so come on, start registering.
Come on,
wait for you. Our arms are open.
And you know, it's not for everyone, but you know, for those of you who are ready and you're like, yes, I'm having it because I'm having it.
And I'm changing my life now.
Changing my life now.
This class is for.
I'm having what I truly desire now, and it's an investment on you. So how does it get any better? What else is possible? If you want to come and play, please do so. These classes are all over the world, but I don't know if you're going to want to limit yourself. I'm sure you can do it. I'm sure if you go to the Access Consciousness page, there's other facilitators.
Yeah, and you can choose whichever, you know, whichever will call more your attention. Oh. But here we are, and we're two Maria Fernandas here. Woo!
And we're going to create magic, baby.
And we're going to create. And we have a dare. We have a dare. I dared her to see which one of us was gonna get the private jet first. So that's the level of this class.
And you know what I love? Now that you say that, I'm just gonna say this one more thing. I mean, I love this stuff clearly, but there's one tool the girl will share with us in this foundation. Like, if you have $100 million that will replenish your bank account every year, what would you do with your life? And something I realized that, of course, when I didn't have a lot of money, I thought, oh my God, I would want to have a Bentley, and I want to live in the ocean, and I want to travel first class or whatever, which I already created that. So it probably wouldn't be much different. But truly, yes, I will choose to have a lot more classes. I will hopefully have a team of 20 people creating classes out there, because I love, it's like, if we're all willing to share the gift that we are. So what gift are you, right? For me, it's like, I'm totally the energy of like being playful. So I don't make things significant. So that's what I love my class. My class is like, okay, something heavy or something could come up, but cool. Do you want to change that now? How does it get any better? So that's what we're inviting you to. And the thing is that I love it, because at the beginning I thought, but now it's like, sure. And not that I will just want to have the $100 million to own the private plane, but why not? I would totally choose it, you know? I was driving in West Palm Beach. You know, the Gary says that's one of the most beautiful hotels, the Breakers. And that's what I thought. Let's just have it in West Palm Beach, you know, where we can, you know, you drive there and it's all this mansion for 10 and 20 millions. And let me tell you something, the reality I created today, if someone would have told me 20 years ago, I almost think big, I couldn't think as big as my life is today.
Yeah. So
now with the tool of Access, which is dynamically, like all you have to do is look at something like, oh my God, whose reality is this? Who do these belong to? What else is possible now? Who else could I top? They're truly access to magic. So that's when now I look at them like, oh yeah, of course I could be driving a $300,000 car. Perhaps this 10 seconds I'll choose it to invest it in real estate. But yeah, why not to have the plane? But wouldn't all of us are truly kind of like things that you wanted to share what worked for you? You wanted to make this place a better place, because some of you have children and some of us, you know, still have, even though they're my nephews and everything, but it's kind of like being the contribution that we know is out there to exist. So
register for the class.
Register, we're going to be here, and thank you so much. I'm sorry you're longer, but we have 4 days to play and create with you, okay?
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Maria Fernanda.
Thank you.
Bye. I'll see you all soon. How does it get any better?